All right. If you are watching me for the first time, I'm Oludare Ogunlana. My briefing will continue to examine one of the most consequential geopolitical developments in our lifetime. I'm talking about the ongoing war involving President Donald Trump of the United States, Israel, and Iran. This is not conventional war. This is a multi-domain conflict. It is being fought with missiles and drones. It is being shaped by artificial intelligence. It is being contested in cyberspace, and it is being manipulated through information operations at global scale. I want all of you to stay with me, like and share this video. I will continue to focus on 5 key areas: the current operational situation, the role of AI in modern warfare, cyber attacks and digital battlefield dynamics, information warfare and narrative control. Finally, the impact on Africa and strategic implications for business leaders. These conflicts signal a shift in how power is projected and contested in the 21st century. Wars are no longer confined to physical battlefields. They now unfold across algorithms, networks, and narratives. AI accelerates decision-making. Cyber operations disrupt critical systems. Information warfare shapes perception before facts emerge. So, the battlefield is everywhere. For Africa and global business leaders, the message is very clear. Prepare for instability. Strengthen cyber resilience. Invest in intelligence-driven strategy. Monitor geopolitical risks with precision. In my opinion, those who fail to adapt will always remain reactive, and those who understand this new battle space will always lead. I want you to stay informed, stay prepared. This is the future of conflict. This conflict began on February 28, 2026, when the United States and Israel launched coordinated strikes against Iran. This was not a symbolic action. It was a decisive escalation. Early reporting indicates that strike resulted in the death of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. His successor, Mujtaba Khamenei, now lead Iran. That single event transformed the nature of the conflict. This is no longer deterrence. This is a regime-level confrontation. Iran has responded with missile and drone. Those missiles and drone targeting Israel and US military positions across the region, including Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan. Meanwhile, Washington has increased troop deployment and signal readiness for sustained operation. While President Trump talked about diplomatic signaling, but we've seen a kind of voice coming from Iran that they were not part of that talk. Of course, they are back-channel communication, but there's no confirmed de-escalation at this point in time. So the battle space still remains active. So let us look at how AI was a force multiplier in this battle. Artificial intelligence is now embedded in warfare, not as theory, but as practice. Report indicate the US operation leveraged AI system from Anthropic, including its cloud platform during the strike phase. The exact application remain undisclosed. However, the implications are clear, right? AI is now part of intelligence analysis, is part of target decision prioritization, and also decision support and operational planning. This change speed, this change scale, and this change decision-making cycles. At the same time, AI is transforming the information environment as well. We are seeing synthetic videos, fabricated battlefield footages, false casualty report, manipulated narratives. In one instance, an AI-generated missile attack video circulated widely as real combat footage. In another case, we've seen false report of the death of Benjamin Netanyahu that spread rapidly across digital platforms before being publicly refuted. AI has lowered the cost of deception. It has increased the speed of misinformation, and it has created battlefield where truth is contested in real time. Now, let us look at cyber warfare in parallel with kinetic war. Cyber operations are no longer secondary. In fact, they are integrated into military campaign. From the first day of the conflict, Iranian digital infrastructure was targeted. Websites were disrupted. Applications were compromised. A widely used religious app was hijacked and used to deliver psychological messages encouraging military defection. This is cyber-enabled influence, not just disruption. Retaliation followed immediately. US financial institutions moved to heighten cyber alert. An Iranian link group claimed responsibility for the destructive cyber attack against a major US earth technology company. The US Department of Justice later seized domains linked to Iran intelligence apparatus. These domains were used to publish stolen personal data, conduct psychological intimidation, promote violence against target. And this represents a hybrid model of warfare: cyber intrusion, data exploitation, and psychological pressure, all operating together. So private sector infrastructure is now part of the battle space. Cloud providers, data centers, enterprise systems, all of them, they're no longer neutral. And that's the reality of today warfare. Now, let us look at information operation and narrative warfare. The war is also being fought in the domain of information. Control of narrative is now strategic power. During these conflicts, we've seen internet access within Iran that has been heavily restricted. External visibility has been reduced. Internal messaging has been tightly controlled. And at the same time, global platforms are saturated with AI-generated content, false strike report, misleading visuals. This creates a fog of war at scale. So, decision makers must now operate in an environment where information may be fabricated, sources may be compromised, and timing may be manipulated as well. The emergence of fake fists, I'm talking about fake fist operation, further complicate attribution. State actors disguise themselves as independent activists. They leak stolen data, they shape perception, they influence global audience. This is not propaganda in the traditional sense. This is algorithm-driven narrative warfare. Now, how is this war impacting Africa? Africa is not isolated from this conflict. The effects are immediate and measurable. And of course, energy is the first impact. Disruption in the Strait of Hormuz has affected global oil and gas flows. Several African countries are expecting or already experiencing fuel shortage, rising transportation costs, increased energy price. In Nigeria, industrial leaders have warned of potential operational disruption. In Kenya, fuel retailers are already facing supply constraints. In Egypt, food price pressure have forced government intervention. In fact, food security is the second impact. Fertilizer supply disruption are increasing agricultural costs. Higher energy prices are raising food production expense. This combination creates inflation pressure. It reduces purchasing power and also increased social risk. So shipping, of course, is the third impact. Global maritime route is shifting. Vessels are rerouting around the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa. And that creates both opportunity for African ports, risk through congestion, and cost increase. Some African economies may benefit from these increased logistic activities. Others will struggle under rising import costs. This is a dual impact scenario, opportunity and vulnerability at the same time. At this point in time, I keep asking, what should our business leaders do? This is a moment of decisive leadership, not observation. You don't fold your hand unobserved. Business leaders must prepare across 5 domains. Cybersecurity readiness. Assume elevated threat level at this point in time. Expect data breaches, system disruptions, and reputation attacks. And therefore, you need to strengthen identity and access controls, endpoint security, and you must have or develop incident response capabilities. At this point in time, if you don't want to find yourself in problem, you need to verify every information. Do not act on unverified information. You need to establish internal validation processes. You must be able to distinguish verified intelligence and viral misinformation. Decision quality now depends on information integrity itself. Supply chain resilience is very important. That's the third thing I will talk about. Identify exposure. Keep asking or ask, which suppliers depend on Middle East route? What input are energy sensitive? Of course, it's time to start preparing for alternative. Build redundancy. And number 4, financial and economic planning. At this point in time, we have to expect volatility. Energy prices may remain elevated. inflation may increase. So there's the need to plan. Plan for cost fluctuation, margin pressure, and currency instability. And again, workforce and executive protection at this point in time is very important. Risk now extend beyond system. You have to protect employee data, executive identities, and digital footprints. Prepare for any kind of targeted harassment and exposure as well. So let me close by saying this. This conflict is redefining modern warfare. It is no longer limited to geography. It operates across physical battlefields, digital infrastructure, information ecosystem, economic system. Artificial intelligence accelerates it. Cyber operations expand it. And information warfare obscure it. And for Africa, the lesson is clear. Geographic distance does not equal strategic distance. For business leaders, the message is direct. Resilience is now competitive advantage. Preparedness is now a requirement. And clarity in decision-making is now a strategic asset. Again, I'm Dr. Oludare Ogunlana. I want you to stay informed, stay prepared, and lead with clarity in an uncertain times like these. Thank you for listening.